This is going to be an introduction to my 3 variations on an Arduino synthesizer, which I take no credit for any of the coding. The only thing I changed was the switch connections, but the coding and project, the original, is listed in the comments below. So this is my first attempt at implementing that wonderful Arduino synthesizer, but instead of using just like key switches, I was trying to think of some other way of doing it. So I came up with this idea of making it sort of like a harp, and using brass brazing rods and conductive gloves to close the switches. So this is how it sounds at this point.
Line in.
First, get everything started up here. Now, the thing about the conductive gloves is that when you put them on, you want to slide the tips up real snug on your fingers to get a nice smooth contact point on the end. So when I touch, I'm going to turn a little more volume here. But as you can hear, there's a slight problem. I didn't polish the brass rods enough, and there's a tick, because they're not super smooth. So I have come up with a solution to a part of that noise, and that is to add a capacitor to each of them, which I haven't done yet. But this is an example of, this is an example of one. Now if I add a capacitor to that, I can get rid of some of that noise. There you go. That's pretty much acceptable. But I just have to add it to the rest of them so they don't do that. And also maybe polish the brass rods more. But not bad for a first try. Now here's an example of, I'll show you some of the different voices that he built into his amazing synthesizer. That's called piano. Another one. And it's a polyphonic, so it can actually do 4 notes at once. This is one of my favorites. back to piano. Anyway, that pretty much wraps it up for that. But the conductive gloves actually worked really well. My mistakes that I would, if I'm probably going to redo this a bit. It's a little bit rough and crude. But it was the first model. Is polish the rods more. Get them really shiny. And alternatively, maybe nickel plate them, which I can do. Which would probably help. But as it is, I have to clean them pretty regularly because the brass does tarnish a bit, and with tarnish, it's horrible. You get a lot of double strikes. At any rate, that's it for this model. On to the next. Okay, here's the second incarnation of this model. This one, it's the same circuitry exactly, except for with solid metal drawer pulls actually, and a little more volume. And this is a little more of a traditional layout with the black keys separated from the white keys like on a piano, and a little different button. You'll notice that these are nicely polished and they don't have the double striking, the clicking sound. I really like this one. I'll try to get both hands in here. And an interesting point that the gentleman that wrote the coding for this, it's in an ASDR format. The instruments, you can write your own. You can put your own, make up your own sounds for an instrument and put it into the code. I haven't done that yet, but you can. So that's it for a demo of this one. On to the next one, which is a little bit wilder. So this model is a little bit different. Let me get it going here. Turn on the amplifier.
Line in.
Turn on the power. Now this one, instead of contact switches, it uses capacity switches. And same on the instrument change. turn that down just a teeny bit. There. So this one is adjustable for ergonomics. You can tilt it up or back to a certain degree to fit your hands comfortably. I laid the keys out so that your hand just kind of fits on you. Same selection of instruments, same sounds, just a different application. I really like these touch switches. The nice thing about these kind of touch switches, capacitive switches, is they are internally debounced. So there is no tick tick or clicks or anything. They're internally debounced. Well, anyway, that's it for the 3 models so far. I have another one in the works which will have capacitive switches again, only this time hanging from a mobile. So basically I will be touching hanging balls to play. I haven't finished that one yet. Anyway, that's it for now.